A former Algona resident has written his first book. In the book, My Confession, Chris Buscher, who now lives down in São Paulo, Brazil, writes about his conversion experience. As Buscher said that growing up here in Algona, he had many run-ins with the law and never finished high school after he started over at Bishop Garrigan. He said he was a troubled teen. However, he said one experience led him to changing his life and eventually taking on the ministry of Christ.
On January 23, 2006, I was in a hospital room in Mason City, Iowa, dying of a drug overdose. And that is when Jesus completely changed my life, and he healed my body in a way unexplainable. And after that, I was able to start studying the Word of God. And as the more that I started to read the Bible itself, the more faith started to arise in me. And I felt a need in my life to be able to go out and to give back to Jesus and to the church in a way that I was never able to give in myself. The more that I've taken a step of faith towards action, the easier it's been for me.
Buscher said that since he's taken up that ministry, he's traveled all over the world. It hasn't always been the easiest process, he said, as he's had some suffering and hardships during his ministry programs.
Since my conversion and before the book, where I've had to go through a lot of pain, I've had to go through a lot of sorrow. I've been beaten on the streets. I've had rocks thrown at me. I have scars on my body, emotional scars as well. I've gotten anthrax, I've gotten malaria, I've gotten different diseases in different countries preaching the gospel, so it has not been easy, but at the same time, it's been absolutely worth it. If one person receives the message, then all of my pain has been worth my sacrifice.
Buscher is now living in Brazil, as I said, with his wife. They're expecting their first kid coming up early next year. He said that he felt the call to write the book, and while it wasn't always the easiest thing, putting pen to paper, he felt that he was compelled to do it, and that it was a part of a larger mission that he sees for his life.
It was very intimidating. As many of my teachers from Bishop Garrigan or Seton, they would tell you that I'm definitely not a person that is very good with English. I think I failed English a couple times, so I had a lot of obstacles I had to overcome with this. But I just started writing after praying, and the words just started coming out of my heart. It was extremely emotional because I was reliving a lot of these memories as they were coming out. And there were times when I would sit there and I would cry about it. There were times when I would sit there and I would, be praising Jesus for what he did. And at the end, it felt like a huge weight was just lifted off of me, and I was excited to be able to release it.
The book is available on online retailers. It's also available at local shops, Buscher, K&H, as well as Fran's Pray Shop. As Buscher said, it's about 100 pages or so. They wanted to make it a pretty easy read. The book, as I said, is called My Confessions. It costs $10, and he's donating all the proceeds to a church in Africa. As Buscher said, he is planning to release another sequel coming up in May. And it's a nice story there from Chris Buscher, former Algona resident, written his first book and now living and preaching the gospel.